The question is, why does it appear that getting out of a chair requires a little bit more work than it did in the past? Furthermore, it is possible that you have seen a tiny tremor in your gait when you are walking. You're not making it up, are you? Getting older is not the only factor here. Sarcopenia is a silent process, a hidden thief that medical specialists term sarcopenia, and it is actively taking your muscle mass night after night, especially while you are sleeping. Sarcopenia is mainly a silent process. In addition, here is the terrifying reality. The majority of elderly people are unaware of the fact that one of the most common causes of devastating falls, loss of independence, and even admission to nursing homes is the gradual and creeping degradation of their muscles. Many of us believe that all we need to do to maintain our strength is to go for a stroll during the day. We are, however, missing out on a crucial 8-hour window of potential opportunity. The amount of time you spend in bed, as well as the activities you engage in or abstain from right before going to sleep, can either hasten the process of muscle atrophy or serve as your most effective instrument for reversing it. In this video, I will reveal the straightforward, scientifically supported ritual that you should perform every night before going to bed in order to prevent your muscles from wasting away. I am a physician who specializes in the health of older citizens. There are 6 other muscle-saving foods and nutrients that we will discuss with you. These foods and nutrients will help you get stronger legs, improve balance, and the self-assurance to continue being active and independent for many years to come. The best part is that this is something that can be avoided entirely. It is not difficult to find answers, and you probably already have several of them in your kitchen. Even if it is not a tough workout or an expensive prescription, the most important thing to do before going to bed is do this. An uncomplicated and creamy diet. It has been demonstrated by groundbreaking research conducted at Maastricht University that it may literally regenerate muscle tissue while you are sleeping. When you see what it is, you will be astounded. Moreover, you will want to stay around to learn about the typical health food that many of you are consuming under the mistaken impression that it is beneficial to your health, but which may actually be causing your legs to become weaker. Please do me a favor and put the number 1 in the comments section right now if you are prepared to restore your strength and your independence. And of course, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell because you do not want to miss out on the life-changing health recommendations that we give on Senior Health 365 each and every week. Now that we have that out of the way, let's get into our 7 secrets to halt the loss of muscle and establish a foundation of strength. Greek yogurt, which brings us to the top of the list, is a protein powerhouse that you might be consuming incorrectly. At this point, it is likely that many of you have Greek yogurt stored in your refrigerator, which is wonderful. However, as your physician, I feel obligated to inform you that the manner in which you consume food and the timing of your meals are of the utmost importance. The reason for this is because as we get older, our bodies develop a phenomenon known as anabolic resistance. To put it another way, this means that we require a greater quantity of high-quality protein in order to achieve the same level of muscle building that we did when we were younger. Because of this, we need to be more discerning about the proteins that we consume. A particular amino acid known as leucine is found in particularly high concentrations in Greek yogurt. The amino acid leucine is not only another building ingredient, rather, it is the master signal, the ignition key for your muscle building engine. It is possible for your body to have a large quantity of other proteins accessible. Nevertheless, if there is not enough leucine to turn the key, the engine will not start. Leucine directly triggers the process known as muscle protein synthesis, or MPS, which is your body's command to begin repairing and constructing new muscle tissue. What does this imply for you in terms of how you go about your daily life? What makes the difference between being able to easily lift yourself up from the dining table and having to use your hands to provide that additional push is the difference. The capacity to walk up a flight of stairs without feeling winded and the stability to play with your grandchildren without the nagging dread of losing your balance are both examples of what it means to have this skill. It is the core underpinning of your ability to be physically independent. I will now give you my prescription. For breakfast or as a snack in the middle of the day, you should aim to have 1 serving of Greek yogurt that is plain and unsweetened. Sugar is a major contributor to inflammation and works directly against your aims. The variations that have fruit on the bottom that are flavored are frequently laden with sugar. Put in a handful of fresh berries if you feel like you need some sweetness. Having it early in the day provides your muscles with the fuel they need to do the tasks that are still to come. On the other hand, protein is not the only component in the formula. There is a quiet foe that is attacking your muscles, and protein cannot defend them on their own. This gets us to the second secret that we will discuss. We are going to reveal our second secret, which is all about using wild-caught salmon as an anti-inflammatory shield. A condition known as chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the most significant factors that might have a negative impact on the health of muscles in elderly people. Take into consideration that it is a low, smoldering fire that is constantly burning inside of your body. This inflammation functions as your body's very own demolition team, continually destroying healthy muscle tissue through its destructive actions. To make matters even worse, it makes your muscles resistant to the very protein that you are consuming, which means that the leucine that you get from your Greek yogurt is unable to perform its function properly. The question now is, how can we put out this fire? When it comes to our muscles, we require a bodyguard, and that bodyguard comes in the form of omega-3 fatty acids. These acids are abundant in fatty fish, such as salmon, that is taken in the wild. These strong fats, in especially EPA and DHA, are the most effective anti-inflammatory treatments that nature has to offer. Your muscle cells are protected from harm as a result of their ability to quiet the internal fire. As a matter of fact, persuasive research conducted by prestigious institutions, such as the University School of Medicine, has demonstrated that older persons who have higher omega-3 levels have improved muscle growth and strength. This is precisely due to the fact that they have successfully managed to control the harmful inflammation. There is a significant benefit in the actual world. Being able to wake up with less stiffness in your knees and ankles is what it entails. It means that your legs will receive more blood flow, which will prevent them from being fatigued as soon during your regular stroll. In addition, these omega-3 fatty acids are among the most effective antioxidants for protecting both your heart and your brain. This is the clinical advice that I offer. At least 2 servings of fatty fish, such as salmon, ranging from 3 to 4 ounces, should be consumed on a weekly basis. Moreover, I cannot stress enough how important it is to select wild-caught whenever it is possible to do so. There is a possibility that farmed salmon contains a higher concentration of omega-6 fats, which can reverse the beneficial effects. When it comes to safeguarding your muscles, fighting inflammation is really necessary. However, in order to truly make them more powerful and stronger, they require a particular kind of high-octane fuel for each and every movement which they perform. The next nutrient is essential for that, but unfortunately, the majority of elderly people fail to take it into consideration. This gets us to the third most important secret, which I refer to as the forgotten muscle fuel, which is creatine. What comes to mind for many of you when I mention creatine is probably a young bodybuilder working out at the gym. I would like for you to completely let go of that mental image. When it comes to senior citizens, creatine is not about developing tremendous biceps. Maintaining your power, your stability, and your independence are all important aspects to consider. From my point of view, it is one of the supplements that has been studied the most, is the safest, and is the most helpful for older folks. Now, let's get down to the science. It is necessary for your muscles to receive a surge of rapid energy whenever you perform activities such as standing up from a chair, catching yourself from stumbling, or lifting a bag of groceries. This energy originates from a biological molecule known as ATP. However, your muscles are only able to store enough ATP for a brief period of time when you exert yourself. When it comes to your ATP, creatine functions much like a quick recharge station. Your muscles are able to fire with greater force and for a longer period of time as a result of the donation of a molecule that rapidly regenerates your ATP supply. One way to think of it is as enhancing the battery pack in your body. Regarding your well-being and the quality of your life, what does this imply? Creatine supplementation in older persons has been demonstrated to considerably boost leg strength and functional performance, according to research conducted by prestigious universities such as McMaster University in Canada. Since this is the case, climbing the flight of stairs leading to your bedroom will be less of a challenge for you. It indicates that you are physically capable of transporting all of your groceries in a single trip. The most essential benefit is that it enhances your reaction time, which provides you with the ability to regain your equilibrium and avoid falling. This is a benefit that is genuinely irreplaceable. In terms of application, it is really straightforward. Creatine monohydrate is the more scientifically validated type. All that is required of you is a daily dose of 3 to 5 grams that is mixed into a glass of water. It is inexpensive and without any discernible flavor. Before beginning to use any new supplement, it is always a good idea to have a brief discussion with your primary care physician, particularly if you have kidney concerns that have been present for some time. Despite the fact that supplements can be a tremendous boost, it is important to remember that whole foods are also very effective. A popular vegetable that functions as a natural performance enhancer for your legs is the next secret that you should know about. Moving on to our fourth secret, which I refer to as the circulation booster, spinach. Let's move on. Popeye was onto something, but it's possible that it wasn't for the reason he believed it for. Although spinach does include a small amount of iron, the actual strength that spinach possesses for the health of older citizens resides in something else entirely: the high concentration of dietary nitrates that it contains. It is important to note that they should not be confused with the nitrates that are found in processed meats. Spinach and beets are two examples of foods that contain nitrates, which are extremely helpful. Through the process of digestion, they are transformed into a miraculous molecule known as nitric oxide by the body. Nitric oxide, on the other hand, can be thought of as a master regulator for your human blood vessels. Your smooth muscle in the walls of your arteries is instructed to relax, which results in the walls being wider. This phenomenon is referred to as vasodilation. Why is it so important that you do this for your legs? Blood arteries that are wider allow for greater blood flow. When there is a greater flow of blood, more oxygen and nutrients are able to be supplied straight to the muscles in your legs that are working so hard. Because of this improvement in circulation, weariness is reduced and you are able to walk for longer periods of time before your legs begin to feel heavy or even pain. It is comparable to updating the fuel lines that flow to the engine of your body. The journals of gerontology published a study that indicated that older persons who consumed a diet high in nitrates experienced improvements in their muscle power and walking speed. Having a newfound sense of endurance is the practical effect that you will experience. There is a possibility that you will discover that you are able to navigate the entirety of the grocery store without having to rely on your cart for help. Throughout the day, you may have a lighter and more energized sensation in your legs. Additionally, this enhanced blood flow is wonderful for assisting in the maintenance of healthy blood pressure levels, which is an additional benefit. Here is some straightforward advice from me. Don't give it too much thought. You may incorporate a large handful of fresh spinach into your daily salad, transform it into a smoothie, or prepare it as a side dish for dinner by softly sautéing it. When you boil it, you risk the beneficial nitrates being released into the water. Therefore, you should avoid boiling it. Therefore, we have discussed what to include in your diet. Nevertheless, what you leave out of your diet may be just as significant, if not more so. The following item on our list is a covert sabotage agent that is most likely hiding in your pantry at this very moment. All of this is of the utmost significance. In order to uncover and eliminate the concealed sabotage, the fifth secret is to recognize and eliminate refined carb sugar. I am referring to the white bread that you use for your sandwich, the crackers that you munch on, the cookies that you have with your tea, and the sugary sodas that you might consider to be a harmless treat. In my professional experience, I have observed that these foods are among the most significant barriers to healthy aging. These things are the unseen adversaries of your muscles. This is the mechanism that causes damage. You will experience a sharp increase in your blood sugar level as a result of consuming these refined flours and simple sugars. In order to control the situation, your body reacts by secreting a large amount of insulin. Insulin resistance is a syndrome in which your muscle cells become effectively immunosuppressed to insulin signals. This condition can develop over time as a result of this persistent assault. But why is that even relevant? Insulin is the key that unlocks the door to your muscle cells, which enables them to receive the glucose they require for energy and the amino acids they require for repair. This is one of the reasons why insulin is so important. Your muscles are essentially being starved of fuel and building blocks when that door is sealed shut owing to insulin resistance. This is the case even if you are eating enough protein. Additionally, this high sugar milieu encourages the same low-grade inflammation that we discussed previously, which results in a toxic state in your body that causes your muscles to waste away. The difference that you will experience after removing these is not going to be minimal. Within a few weeks, you will have reduced brain fog and clearer thinking, as well as more consistent energy levels throughout the day. You will also no longer experience that crash that occurs in the middle of the afternoon. You will also be establishing an internal environment in which your muscles are primed and ready to absorb nutrients, which will result in your muscles growing stronger rather than weaker. This is the most essential benefit. The solution is as easy as making a switch. Replace white bread with bread that is made entirely of whole grains. Make the switch from white potatoes to sweet potatoes or carrots, which are rich in nutrients. Choose a handful of almonds rather than cookies as your snack of choice. You may eliminate the saboteur and replace it with a genuine ally for your health by making these minor adjustments on a consistent basis. The most important thing is to steer clear of these saboteurs, but before we do that, let's talk about the ultimate power pair for your muscles, and, more significantly, the bones to which they are attached. Alright? The sixth secret is about embracing the bone and muscle pair, which is vitamin D and vitamin K2, respectively. It is simply impossible to discuss the strength of muscles without also discussing the bones to which they are attached. The two different systems are inextricably linked to one another. Even if you have the strongest muscles in the world, if the bones that they pull on are weak, you are putting yourself in a position where you could suffer a catastrophic fracture. When it comes to this particular situation, the ideal combination of vitamin D and vitamin K2 comes into play. You are probably familiar with vitamin D, which is frequently referred to as the sunshine vitamin. Despite the fact that it is well known for its role in assisting your body in absorbing calcium from the food you eat, its benefits extend far beyond that. It has been demonstrated through groundbreaking research that vitamin D receptors are present directly on the muscular tissue of our bodies. Consequently, this indicates that vitamin D plays a direct effect in the function and strength of muscles. Not just because of weak bones, but also because of poor muscle function and impaired balance, low levels of vitamin D have been continuously associated in large studies, such as those published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society, to a much greater risk of falls in older persons. This is the case not only because of inadequate bone density, but also because of poor muscle performance. However, here is the portion of the narrative that is sometimes overlooked, and that is vitamin K2. Consider vitamin D to be the hero that is responsible for bringing calcium into the body, while vitamin K2 is the traffic officer that is responsible for directing calcium to its proper destination. Vitamin K2 is responsible for activating proteins that transport calcium into your bones and teeth, where it should be. Additionally, it prevents calcium from entering your arteries and soft tissues, where it might potentially cause harmful calcification and stiffness. They collaborate as a group. You do require both. In the actual world, optimizing these two factors will result in a significant reduction in the likelihood that you will have a fracture or fall. These are the two occurrences that most frequently cause seniors to lose their independence. In other words, it is having the self-assurance that your body is powerful on the inside as well as through. The recommendation that I have is threefold. In the first place, spend as much time as you can in the sun. Second, consume foods that are abundant in these minerals, such as fatty fish and egg yolks for vitamin D3, and fermented foods such as natto or cheeses of high quality for vitamin K2. However, supplementation is required for the majority of elderly people. The optimal synergy can be achieved by taking a supplement that contains both vitamin D3 and vitamin K2, specifically the MK7 form of vitamin K2. Above all else, make sure to request a straightforward blood test from your physician in order to determine your vitamin D levels. Instead of speculating, try it out. And here we are, at the very moment that you have been anticipating. The top secret of all secrets, a straightforward action that can be taken shortly before going to bed in order to prevent your muscles from dissipating while you are sleeping. This brings us to our seventh and last hidden reveal, that which I had promised to you. This is the straightforward routine that you can perform right before going to bed in order to prevent your muscles from dissipating while you are sleeping. It is not some pricey supplement that is difficult to locate that is the answer. It is not only inexpensive but also quite efficient. And it is a humble product. It is cottage cheese that is the answer. It is possible that some of you are thinking the same thing. Is it cottage cheese? The traditional diet food that you eat. However, I want you to pay close attention to what I have to say, since the science is the thing that really matters here. One of the most distinctive forms of protein, known as casein, may be found in cottage cheese. There is a possibility that you will consume proteins that digest quickly during the day, such as whey from a smoothie, or protein prepared from chicken. That works wonderfully for usage right away. However, casein is not the same. A protein that digests slowly is this one. As soon as it reaches your stomach, it transforms into a gel-like substance, which indicates that your body will break it down and absorb it in a somewhat sluggish manner. Consequently, this results in what experts refer to as a trickle-feed effect, a gradual and consistent release of amino acids that are beneficial to muscle growth into your bloodstream over the course of 7 to 8 hours. Now, we come to the magic. The nighttime hours are when your body enters a fasting state, which is a naturally catabolic state. This means that it begins to break down muscle tissue in order to obtain energy. But if you consume casein protein before going to bed, you can change the course of events. You supply your body with the precise food it requires to remain in an anabolic state, also known as a state that promotes muscle growth during the whole night. While you are sleeping, you are literally supplying your muscles with nutrients, which prevents them from being consumed by other tissues. In a groundbreaking study that was published in the Journal of Nutrition, researchers from Maastricht University in the Netherlands verified that ingesting casein protein before going to sleep considerably increases the amount of muscle protein that is synthesized overnight, which ultimately results in significantly larger gains in both muscle growth and strength. The benefit that you experience is that you wake up with less stiffness, that you feel more recovered, and that you have the peace of mind that your body was actively healing itself rather than degrading. Your sleep is being transformed from a period of muscle loss into a period of muscle restoration thanks to your efforts. I am providing you with my exact prescription. You should consume approximately half a cup to 1/2 cup of low-fat, low-sodium cottage cheese approximately 30 to 60 minutes before going to bed. The addition of a few berries, which are rich in antioxidants, is an excellent alternative if you want to add a little flavor. Protecting your valuable muscle mass can be accomplished with this straightforward, effective, and clinically validated technique. You now get the full picture. Using the slow-release power of cottage cheese at night, the anti-inflammatory protection of salmon, the energy boost from creatine, and the crucial support from vitamins D and K2, we have just discovered a potent toolkit that is supported by scientific research to combat the loss of muscle mass. When it comes to building a robust foundation of strength for your body, it is not about a single magic bullet, but rather about a succession of tiny, wise choices that, when combined, create a foundation of power. Tonight marks the beginning of your path toward stronger and more reliable legs. I would like for you to take a single baby step. Before going to bed, give that half cup of cottage cheese a shot. On the following day, you should make a deliberate decision to include a handful of spinach in your lunch. These changes are not significant or overwhelming in any way. These are straightforward and doable actions that can be taken to safeguard your independence and ease of movement. Please, the next time you go to see your physician, inquire about the possibility of having your vitamin D levels tested, or whether or not a creatine supplement would be beneficial for you. Take responsibility for your own health. There is no better advocate than yourself. If you feel that this video has given you more power, we would appreciate it if you would click the like button. The best way to ensure that you never miss any of our health updates and to assist us in developing content that is tailored to your specific needs is to subscribe to Senior Health 365 and make sure that the notification bell is ringing. If you could, please let us know in the comments section below which of these secrets you are going to try out first. Simply enter cottage cheese in the comments section if you want to give the bedtime ritual a shot after reading this. You should keep in mind that becoming older is an inevitable part of life, but that you do not have to give up your vigor or your independence. Each and every meal presents an opportunity to make an investment in a more robust and vivacious version of yourself. Imagining yourself walking with self-assurance, playing with your grandchildren without fear, and enjoying your life completely according to your own terms is powerful. Also, if you have a friend or a member of your family who is in need of hearing this message, please share this video with them. We are a community that is committed to flourishing in our elderly years like we are here. We appreciate you taking the time to watch, and we wish you continued success and good health.